You're standing in the penthouse of a building that technically doesn't exist on Google Maps, looking down at a city that's currently screaming. High above the streets, the air smells like expensive cologne and filtered oxygen, but if you open that window, the scent of burning rubber and tear gas would choke you. Your client is sitting on a velvet sofa behind you, nursing a glass of sparkling water that was flown in from a Nordic glacier this morning. He's a man who owns the patents to 3 different types of human emotions, and right now he's having a moment. "They're being so loud," he says, gesturing vaguely at the window with a diamond-encrusted hand. He isn't talking about the protesters because they're hungry. He's talking about them because their chanting is ruining his afternoon nap. You don't turn around. You don't have to. You know his face better than his own mother does. You've spent the last decade memorizing every twitch of his jaw and every lie he's ever told. You are his professional apologizer. You are the level 100 buffer, the high-tech filter that sits between his catastrophic greed and the people he stepped on to get it. "I'll handle it," you say. Your voice is a masterpiece of engineered calm. It's the kind of voice that makes people want to lower their weapons and hand over their wallets. This is your life at the peak. You don't fix problems. You fix the perception of problems. You are the guy who makes the world believe that a billionaire's mistake is actually the public's fault. And for that service, you get a seat at the table and a soul that's been sanded down to a fine gray powder. You weren't born into this. You earned it in the trenches of human humiliation. Think back to level 1. You were 20 years old, wearing a suit you bought from a thrift store that smelled like mothballs and desperation. You were a junior compliance buffer for a fast food conglomerate that had accidentally used industrial-grade floor wax as a secret ingredient in their burger buns. The CEO didn't show up to the hospital to talk to the sick kids. You did. You stood in those sterile hallways holding a stuffed animal and a legal waiver, while parents screamed in your face. You took the spit. You took the slaps. And you realized something that changed your life. People don't want the truth. They want a target. They want to yell at a face until their throat is sore so they can go home and feel like they did something. By level 20, you had mastered the puppet master phase. You weren't just a shield anymore. You were a director. You remember the great cruise ship disaster? The ship didn't sink, but the toilets broke in the middle of the Atlantic for 10 days. 3,000 millionaires were trapped in a floating bucket of their own waste. The cruise line owner was terrified. But you were delighted. You didn't apologize for the plumbing. You leaked a story to the press that the breakdown was caused by a rare deep-sea kraken that had attacked the ship's undercarriage. You hired a special effects team to film blurry footage of a giant tentacle. By the time the ship hit the dock, the passengers weren't angry about the smell. They were celebrities. They were survivor heroes of a mythical monster attack. The owner gave you $1 million bonus and a private island. That was the moment you realized that guilt isn't a fact. It's a narrative. And you are the world's greatest storyteller. Managing billionaires is like being a zookeeper for predators who think they're the prey. You once had a client who accidentally bought a historic cathedral in France and tried to turn it into a luxury garage for his collection of vintage tanks. When the local government protested, he didn't apologize. He told you to make the cathedral look like the bad guy. You spent 3 months funding a fake historical research team to discover that the cathedral was actually built on the site of an ancient, cursed graveyard that was causing the local village's high rate of migraines. By the time you were done, the villagers were asking the billionaire to tear it down. You've apologized to the ocean for oil spills. You've apologized to the sky for satellite debris. You've even apologized to a forest for existing in the path of a high-speed rail line. But as you stand in this penthouse today, the humor feels thin. Feels like the air is being sucked out of the room. The client stands up and walks over to a glass pedestal in the center of the room. On it sits a single glowing black cube. It looks like a piece of the night sky caught in a box. "I've done it," he whispers. He isn't crying now. He's vibrating with a terrifying, cold excitement. "I didn't just crash the grain market. I've encrypted the world's access to the old web. Every photo of a child's first steps, every digital copy of a constitution, every recorded memory of humanity before the year 2020. It's all in this cube. And I've just wiped the backup." You feel a cold drop of sweat slide down your spine. This isn't a demolished building apology. This is a humanity just lost its identity apology. "Meet Leo," the client says, patting the boy on the shoulder. Leo flinches like he's been struck with a hot iron. He's a level 1 coding intern. He's the one who's going to tell the world that he accidentally ran a delete script while he was trying to install a pirated version of a video game. You look at the boy. His eyes are red, his hands are shaking, and he's clutching a photo of his mother. He is the you from 20 years ago. The kid who thought that if you just worked hard and stayed quiet, the world would be fair. The client leans into your ear. His breath smells like peppermint and death. You're going to go on every news network in the world. You're going to stand beside this boy. You're going to look the world in the eye and say that his incompetence is the greatest tragedy of the 21st century. You're going to make 8 billion people hate this child so much that they never think to look at me. Your buffer doesn't just crack, it shatters. Because you know how this ends. Once the apology is over, Leo won't be going home. He'll be moved to a black site where the air is stale and the sun never shines, a permanent prisoner of a lie you're about to build. And then, the client says the words that change everything. Don't look so worried. I've already pre-written your apology for his eventual suicide in custody. It's some of your best work. Welcome to level 100. The cameras are warming up. You look at the teleprompter. The words are already there, glowing in a cold, clinical green. They are perfect. They are poetic. They are the most convincing words you've ever written, and they are designed to execute a boy who hasn't even started living yet. You have exactly 90 minutes before the global feed goes live. In the seat across from you, Leo is hyperventilating into his hands. To the world, he's a digital terrorist. To you, he's just a prop in a high-stakes play. You open the Guilt engine, the proprietary software you developed back at level 70. It's a network of 10,000 bot accounts, deep-fake classmates of Leo, and manufactured search histories. With a single tap, you populate the internet with evidence that Leo was a disgruntled employee who hated the world. You create a fake blog where he complained about his boss. You upload a photoshopped image of him at a radical protest he never attended. Why are you doing this? Leo whispers. His voice is small, cracking under the weight of the darkness you're wrapping around him. You don't look up from your screen. Because if I don't make them hate you, they'll kill you, you lie. It's a level 50 tactic. Give the victim a false sense of security so they don't scream when the knife goes in. The world needs a villain, Leo. If you play the part, maybe the client lets you live. You're lying. You know the client has already signed the order for Leo's disappearance. But as you look at the boy's trembling hands, your finger hovers over the execute button for the smear campaign. For the first time in 20 years, the buffer doesn't just feel heavy, it feels like it's suffocating you. Your heart skips a beat. Not a metaphorical skip, a genuine physical thud that echoes in your ears. Someone has breached your private server. Someone knows about the lead poison cough syrup. Someone knows about the Kraken footage. The SUV pulls up to the back entrance of the news station. A swarm of security guards in matte black tactical gear surrounds the vehicle. These aren't police. They're the client's private army. They aren't here to protect you. They're here to make sure you finish the script. As you lead Leo through the concrete corridors, a janitor mops the floor in the shadows. He doesn't look up, but as you pass, he drops a small, clear earbud into your pocket. You slip it in as you enter the makeup room. Don't say the words, a voice whispers in your ear. It's female, she sounds sharp and professional. Sounds like the you from level 80, before you stopped caring. The black cube isn't just a server migration. It's a key. If the client controls the old web, he controls every legal record of his own crimes. If you finish that apology, he becomes untouchable. And you become a loose end. You catch your reflection in the makeup mirror. A stylist is dabbing powder on your forehead to hide the sweat you didn't even know you were shedding. You look at Leo in the reflection, sitting in the corner like a lamb at the slaughter. Who is this? You whisper, masked by the hum of the air conditioning. A friend you haven't betrayed yet, the voice replies. The suicide protocol for the boy is scheduled for 10 p.m. tonight. But there's a flaw in the client's encryption. He used your old level 20 algorithm as a base. He thinks he's a genius, but he's just a thief. You can break the cube, but you have to do it live. On air. In front of everyone. You take your seat behind the glass desk. The anchor, a woman who has had so much plastic surgery she looks like a level 100 android, gives you a cold, professional nod. Leo is seated to your right, hidden in the shadows of the studio lights. 30 seconds, the floor manager signals. Your earpiece is buzzing with two different worlds. In your left ear, the client is speaking from his penthouse. Do it perfectly and I'll give you the Mediterranean island. Fail me and I'll make sure the world thinks you were Leo's mentor in the hack. In your right ear, the mysterious voice is counting down. The moment you say the word incompetence, the link will be active. Upload the master key. Burn the cube. You look at the teleprompter. The green text is scrolling. Ladies and gentlemen of the world, we are here today to address a tragedy of human error. A young man, driven by a lack of foresight. Your hands are on the desk. One hand is holding the execute button for Leo's digital destruction. The other hand is hovering over the hidden earbud, connected to a server that could destroy your client, your career, and your life. 5, 4, 3. You look at Leo. He's looking at you with a terrifying amount of trust. He thinks you're going to save him. 2 and 1. You're live. The camera lens zooms in. It's so close you can see your own distorted reflection in the glass. You open your mouth. The 440 Hz frequency is ready. The engineered tears are primed. Good evening, you say. Your voice is steady, but your mind is a war zone. My name is Luke Jordan, and I am here to offer the world an apology. But it isn't the one you were expecting. The earpiece in your left ear erupts in a scream of static. The client realizes something is wrong. The director is moving toward the set from the wings. We've been told that a young man named Leo is responsible for the loss of our history. You continue, ignoring the teleprompter. But at level 100, you learn that responsibility is just a word rich men use to describe the people they've buried. You reach into your pocket and slam a small USB drive into the studio's console. Leo didn't delete your memories. He was the one trying to save them. And I'm not here to say sorry for him. I'm here to say sorry for me. The world is watching, and for the first time in your career, you aren't reading a script. You're writing history in real time. The air in the studio feels electric, charged with the collective gasp of 8 billion people seeing the truth behind the curtain. Cut the feed. Cut it now. The director screams, charging toward the control desk. But the voice in your right ear, the sharp, professional woman, laughs. Too late. I've looped the broadcast through the client's own satellite network. He's currently broadcasting his own destruction to every screen on the planet. Keep talking. Give them the soul of the machine. You look directly into the lens. You don't use the 440 Hz frequency. You use your real voice, the one you haven't used since you were a level 1 kid in a thrift store suit. For 20 years, I've been your liability buffer, you tell the world. I've made you hate victims and love monsters. I've turned oil spills into light shows and famines into market corrections. But today, the price of the apology just went up. Today, the client isn't buying your forgiveness. He's paying for his crimes. On the monitors behind you, the black cube's encryption is shattering. It looks like a digital explosion. Photos of long-lost relatives, deleted historical documents, and the client's private ledgers are pouring onto the internet. The old web is being vomited back into existence. The woman walks onto the set. She doesn't look at the cameras. She looks at you. She pulls the earpiece out of her own ear and nods. You ask, "Who are you?" while the mic is still live. "I'm the apology you never made," she says. Her voice is the one from the earbud. "I'm the level 100 fixer for the people who actually protect the system. You thought the syndicate was the top? The syndicate is just a middle manager. I work for the balance." She turns to Leo, who is still cowering in the shadows. She hands him a jacket. "Go. The police outside are mine. You're a witness now, not a scapegoat." As Leo is led away, he looks back at you. He doesn't say thank you. He looks at you with a mix of pity and horror. He sees what you've become to save him. A man who had to burn his entire life to remember he had won. "You've killed us both." The client screams through the monitor. "You think they'll let you walk away? You're the face of every lie for the last 2 decades. If I go down, you're the first one they'll hang in the town square." He's right. You know the law. You've spent your life circumventing it, but now the buffer is gone. You are the most documented liar in human history. The woman in the gray suit steps closer. She leans and so only you can hear her. He's right. The world needs a final sorry. They need a face to blame for the last 20 years of deception. I can offer you 2 doors. Door 1, you go to prison for the rest of your life and the client goes with you, or door 2. She pauses, looking at the black USB drive still glowing in the console. Door 2, you use your level 100 skills one last time. You perform a digital suicide. You upload your own identity into the shatterstream of the black cube. You delete every record of yourself. Your bank accounts, your birth certificate, your face in the system. You become a level 0. A ghost. No money. No history. No white suit. You look at your hands. The $10,000 blazer feels like a lead weight. The amber scotch you drank on the jet feels like poison in your gut. If I become a ghost, you ask, what happens to the truth? The truth stays, she says. But you won't be there to claim the credit. You'll be a nobody. Just another face in the crowd you've spent your life manipulating. You think about the level 1 kid you were. The one who just wanted to help his mom pay the rent. The one who thought a suit made you a man. You realize that the level 100 sovereign wasn't a king. He was just a very expensive slave. "I'm sorry," you whisper. You aren't saying it to the client. You aren't saying it to the cameras. You're saying it to yourself. You slam your hand down on the key. You're standing in the rain, shivering. Your shoes are leaking. Your stomach is growling. You have exactly $4 in your pocket, all of it found in the gutter. A news report plays on a TV in a shop window nearby. It shows the client being led away in handcuffs. The reporter mentions a mysterious whistleblower who vanished during the broadcast. They show a blurred image of a man in a white suit, but the face is a mess of digital noise. The system doesn't recognize you. The cameras don't track you. A man in front of you in line accidentally spills his hot soup on your sleeve. He looks terrified. He looks at your face, expecting you to scream, to sue him, to destroy his life. "I'm so sorry." The man stammers, reaching for a napkin. "I didn't mean to. Please, I can't pay for that jacket." You look down at your wet, cheap sleeve. You look at the man shaking hands. You feel a strange, warm sensation in your chest. It's heavy and painful. It's guilt. And it's yours. "It's okay," you say, and for the first time in 20 years the words are free. It was just an accident. You walk away into the crowd. You aren't a buffer anymore. You aren't an architect of lies. You're just a man in the rain. Level 101. You're finally human.